Today is February 23rd, 2026, and this is Read Through the Bible.
Hi, everyone.
And through modern technology, we can do this from afar.
That's right. It's pretty fancy.
That is. I'm in Illinois, and you're in Durango. And, yesterday was a good day at Rock Valley Bible Church. I preached on the Apostles' Creed. It's rare that I ever preach a topical sermon, but I did. And it was just an interesting sermon. Just press people to know and memorize the Apostles' Creed as be good for them and good for outreach opportunities.
Yeah, I heard part of it. I haven't finished it, but what I heard was really good.
And what did you do yesterday?
So yesterday I went to SR and Jenna's church, First Baptist, and they didn't go, but I went, and Jenna's mom was there, so it was a good time to see her too. And they are in a series on Proverbs, and so I heard a really good sermon on what Proverbs has to say about friendship, and so really enjoyed it. And then got to spend the day with SR and Jenna and June and Shep, and then I got to help give Shep his first bath.
His first bath, wow.
Yep, and June helped as well. So
she was a lot of help. She's like
right. Keep in mind
old.
She's not quite 2, so
okay.
It's pretty fun.
All right. Well, we need to read the scriptures, and we're reading in 2 Chronicles 17 and 18 today, which is a story of Jehoshaphat.
Right, so we're reading through the kings of Judah. Remember, in 2 Chronicles and 1 Chronicles, we're just focusing on Judah, not on Israel. So we're just walking through the kings. The first one was Rehoboam, and then Abijah, Asa, and now we're in Jehoshaphat. And he's got 4 chapters. So
2 days. We're going to read them today and tomorrow. Yeah. And on Friday, we read about Asa. So right. Jehoshaphat gets 4 chapters, and I love what he does in this chapter. Okay, 2 Chronicles 17. Jehoshaphat, his son, reigned in his place and strengthened himself against Israel. He placed forces in all the fortified cities of Judah and set garrisons in the land of Judah and in the cities of Ephraim that Asa his father had captured. The Lord was with Jehoshaphat because he walked in the earlier ways of his father David. He did not seek the Baals, but sought the God of his father and walked in his commandments, and not according to the practices of Israel. Therefore the Lord established the kingdom in his hand, and all Judah brought tribute to Jehoshaphat, and he had great riches and honor. His heart was courageous in the ways of the Lord, and furthermore, he took the high places and the Asherim out of Judah. All these just good things. Mm-hmm. He's courageous. He is filled with riches and honor. He walked in the practices of the way of God, not in the practices of Israel, who were all idolaters. So it's really good.
Okay, verse 7. In the 3rd year of his reign, he sent his officials, Ben-Hail, Obadiah, Zechariah, Nethanel, and Micaiah, to teach in the cities of Judah. And with them the Levites, Shemaiah, Nethaniah, Zebediah, Asahel, Shemiramoth, Jehonathan, Adonijah, Tobijah, and Tobadonijah. And with these Levites the priests, Elishama and Jehoram. And they taught in Judah, having the book of the law of the Lord with them. They went about through all the cities of Judah and taught among the people. Wow, what a great idea.
Yeah, he just sends out these
circuit preachers.
Yeah, it's essentially what he's doing.
Yeah, just to teach the people and make sure they all know the ways of the Lord.
And we see verse 10 about God's blessing upon these people for the law being taught throughout all Judah. And the fear of the Lord fell upon all the kingdoms of the land that were around Judah, and they made no war against Jehoshaphat. Some of the Philistines brought Jehoshaphat presents and silver for tribute, and the Arabians also brought the Arabians and the Arabians also brought him 7,700 rams and 7,700 goats, and Jehoshaphat grew steadily greater. He built in Judah fortresses and store cities, and he had large supplies in the cities of Judah. He had soldiers, mighty men of valor in Jerusalem. This was the muster of them by fathers' houses. Of Judah, the commanders of thousands, Adnah, the commander with 300,000 mighty men of valor, and next to him, Jehoahan, the commander with him, 280,000, and next to him, Amasiah, the son of Zichri, a volunteer for the service of the Lord with 200,000 mighty men of valor. Of Benjamin, Eliada, a mighty man of valor with 200,000 men armed with bow and shield, and next to him Jehozabad with 180,000 armed for war. These were in the service of the king, besides those whom the king had placed in the fortified cities throughout all Judah. Yeah, so just the blessing of God is really all that chapter is about. Jehoshaphat walked in his ways. He sends out all these teachers. Right. Fear of Judah fell upon all the nations. They're just doing well.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
So I think chapter 17 really just kind of sets up, it's all good for Jehoshaphat. Okay, chapter 18.
Now, Jehoshaphat had great riches and honor, and he made a marriage alliance with Ahab.
That's bad.
Why?
I don't know why.
So that's Ahab, who's married to Jezebel in Israel in the north. He's a very bad king.
Yeah.
So after some years, he went down to Ahab in Samaria, and Ahab killed an abundance of sheep and oxen for him and for the people who were with him, and induced him to go up against Ramoth-Gilead. Ahab, king of Israel, said to Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, "Will you go with me to Ramoth-Gilead?" He answered him, "I am as you are, my people as your people. We will be with you in the war."
And Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, right, before you make this alliance, right, just stop and pray, really. Inquire first for the word of the Lord. Then the king of Israel gathered the prophets together, 400 men, and said to them, "Shall we go to battle against Ramoth-Gilead, or shall I refrain?" And they said, "Go up, for God will give it into the hand of the king." 400 of them are like, "Yes, men. Yep, go ahead." But Jehoshaphat said, "Is there not here another prophet of the Lord whom we may acquire?" And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, "There is yet one man by whom we may inquire of the Lord, Micaiah, the son of Imlah. But I hate him, for he never prophesies good concerning me, but always evil." Why is he going to prophesy evil against Ahab?
Because Ahab's evil.
Ahab is raunchly evil, yeah. And Jehoshaphat said, "Let not the king say so." Verse 8, Then the king of Israel summoned an officer and said, "Bring quickly Micaiah, the son of Imlah." Now the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, were sitting on their thrones, arrayed in their robes, and they were sitting at the threshing floor at the entrance of the gate of Samaria, and all the prophets were prophesying before them. And Zedekiah, the son of Chenaniah, made for himself horns of iron and said, "Thus says the Lord, with these you shall push the Syrians until they are destroyed." And all the prophets prophesied so and said, "Go up to Ramoth-Gilead and triumph. The Lord will give it into the hand of the king." So all these 400 yes men are saying yes, and they're even giving these object lessons about pushing things. Yes, you're going to destroy the Syrians in this way.
Verse 12, And the messenger who went to summon Micaiah said to him, "Behold, the words of the prophets with one accord are favorable to the king. Let your word be like the word of one of them, and speak favorably."
So here's this messenger kind of coaching Micaiah up, saying everybody has been positive, all 400 of them, so it'd be best if you're positive as well.
But Micaiah said, "As the Lord lives, what my God says, that I will speak." And when he had come to the king said to him, "Micaiah, shall we go to Ramoth-Gilead to battle, or shall I refrain?" And he answered.
Okay, so here's some sarcasm.
He said, "Go up and triumph. They will be given into your hand." But the king said to him, "How many times shall I make you swear that you speak to me nothing but the truth in the name of the Lord?"
So here's an instance where it was very clear to Ahab that he was speaking sarcastically. Like maybe he's rolling his eyes, or the tone in which he said, "Yeah, go up and triumph," or like mimicking them. Who knows?
Right.
But somehow it was clear.
Yep. So, verse 16, and he, Micaiah, said, "I saw all Israel scattered on the mountains, as sheep that have no shepherd. And the Lord said, These have no master. Let each return to his home in peace." And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, "Did I not tell you that he would not prophesy good concerning me, but evil?" And Micaiah said, "Therefore, hear the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing on his right hand and on his left." Interesting. That's kind of like what Isaiah saw and what Ezekiel saw,
right.
Like the Lord sitting on his throne.
Yep.
Verse 19, And the Lord said, "Who will entice Ahab, the king of Israel, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth-Gilead?" And one said one thing, and another said another. Then a spirit came forward and stood before the Lord, saying, "I will entice him." And the Lord said to him, "By what means?" And he said, I will go out and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, you are to entice him, and you shall succeed. Go out and do so. Now therefore, behold, the Lord has put a lying spirit in the mouth of these your prophets. The Lord has declared disaster concerning you.
Yeah, so just like lean into this. This is kind of strange that God would send lying spirits through the prophets.
To mislead him.
But he was so wicked that what God did. That was his plan, to send a lying. They're all liars. Micaiah calls it out, except Micaiah. And so Ahab knew the truth, that they're all lying. And
it's interesting just that Micaiah pulls back the curtain a little bit and gives us a glimpse of kind of what went on behind the scenes.
Yep. Then Zedekiah, the son of Chenaanah, came near and struck Micaiah on the cheek and said, which way did the Spirit of the Lord go from me to speak to you? And Micaiah said, behold, you shall see on that day when you go into an inner chamber to hide yourself. And the king of Israel said, seize Micaiah and take him back to Ammon, the governor of the city, and to Joash, the king's son, and say, thus says the king, put this fellow in prison and feed him with meager rations of bread and water until I return in peace. And Micaiah says, if you return in peace, the Lord has not spoken by me. He said, hear, all you peoples. Okay, so here's a big test, right? Is Ahab going to come back? If he comes back, Micaiah was a liar. If he doesn't come back, Micaiah speaks the truth.
Verse 28, so the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat the king of Judah went up to Ramoth-Gilead. And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, I will disguise myself and go into battle, but you wear your robes. And the king of Israel disguised himself, and they went into battle. Now the king of Syria had commanded the captains of his chariots, fight with neither small nor great, but only with the king of Israel. So as soon as the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat, they said, oh, it is the king of Israel. So they turned to fight against him. And Jehoshaphat cried out, and the Lord helped him. God drew them away from him. For as soon as the captains of the chariots saw that it was not the king of Israel, they turned back from pursuing him. But a certain man drew his bow at random and struck the king of Israel between the scale armor and the breastplate. Therefore he said to the driver of his chariot, turn around and carry me out of the battle, for I am wounded. And so that was Ahab, who got shot with an arrow, a random arrow. Verse 34, and the battle continued that day, and the king of Israel was propped up in his chariot, facing the Syrians until evening. Then at sunset, he died.
So he never returned to Micaiah, and therefore determined that Micaiah's prophecy was true, and that these 400 prophets prophesied falsely. Yeah, so, I'm not sure how you exactly summarize that, but it's Jehoshaphat alliancing with Ahab. 400 prophets say go up. Micaiah says not. And Ahab's angry with him, basically says, who spoke to you? I will give him meager rations until I get back. He says, you're not going to get back. He didn't get back because he died.
They go to battle and Ahab dies.
Because this random arrow flies through the air and gets him through the chink in his armor. And Ahab dies. Right? We will continue and finish the story of Jehoshaphat tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.